Hi. So, been giving it some thought, trying to more like put my brain and thought process kind of like on paper, if you will. This whole beekeeping experience has been incredible. It's only been 2 weeks, so there's a lot of stuff that could go on, a lot of things could go wrong. We don't open the bees up as of right now for another 2 days. So as far as I'm concerned, everything could be going perfectly fine, or it could all be falling apart. I don't know. But there's a few things I do know. As of right now, both colonies are doing quite well. They're drinking all of the food we give them. Um, the wooden hive, Langstroth hive, seems to be going about its business like it's not like no problem at all. And then you have the hex hives, the plastic hives, the Highlighter Hotel, as it's being called, doing quite well from what I can tell. What I really wanted to talk about was just how did we get here? To anyone who's done this before, or for those who haven't done this before, the world of bees is nothing what you would think it is. You think it would just be, you get a bunch of bees, you put them in a box, they make you honey, you're done. And, rinse, repeat, maybe expand the colony to 2 colonies the following year, whatever. It's just, you think it's one thing, and then it's another thing, and then you're done. And it's nowhere near that simple. But to start off, there's a lot of things you have to consider. First thing we had to consider was what kind of colony are we going to have? Are we going to have just a normal Langstroth wooden hive, which we do, and that was the original plan. But then, about a little over a year ago, I got into 3D printing, and I have been 3D printing pretty much nonstop every day for over a year now. In fact, my X1 Carbon here from Bamboo Lab I got last September, and I almost have 3,000 hours in total printing time. So there's a lot, it's pretty cool. I enjoy it. But what ended up going on a little bit later is I've been telling my mom for a long time that, hey, if we're gonna do this, let's stop beating around the bush. Let's actually do this. And that's how we got the idea for the Langstroth, the wooden hives, the blue hive. But then 3D printing came along, and then a group out of California created the hex hives, which is the 3D printing hives that you see. And of course, my brain, 3D printing, was like, oh, this is pretty much exactly what we want. We're getting bees anyway. We might as well do a second colony that's all about 3D printing. That'd be just cool to see how it works. Well, fast forward to probably January of this year, and I've gone through probably 25 rolls of filament and a couple of nozzles just to get this hive printed. But we got the bees moved in 2 weeks ago, and that whole experience was just really cool. In order to just, again, we initially started, as you saw with the first video we posted, that the original design was just to leave them on the ground, because with the hex hives, the promotional video just showed them people taking the hex hive, usually just one tower, which is about 3 stories tall, the bottom being the brood box, the top 2 being just supers, and just setting them in like a garden somewhere on the ground. There was some that had screwed into like platforms, but I didn't really think too much of it, and I built the ant moat for it, so I figured it'd be fine. But then the morning of, to go get our first colony for the hex hives, because we were supposed to get them at the same time, because we got a nuke and a bee box. So one was gonna have the comb in it, what you saw for the wooden hive. The other one was supposed to be for the hex hives, it was just the bees and the queen. There was no comb, nothing, which is why we've been feeding them a crap ton. So I get a phone call like a week before, or 2 weeks. I'm supposed to get both the bees in both the colonies, and the the bee boxes were done early for whatever reason. So I had to go get, we had to shift our schedule to go get the bees a week early, which is how we're 2 weeks in instead of just 1 weekend for both hives. And so we're scrambling the night before, trying to get everything set up, the concrete blocks to set where we want them, the tarp down, removing everything out of the shed and reorganizing it to make it easier to get the stuff that we need. Like, it was a whole process. And again, we wake up the morning of, and my mom panics and says we need to get them off the ground. We need to get them on, like, we need to build a platform for them to sit on, because the Langstroth, the wooden hive, is going to have a stand. So we need to get these other bees off the ground. And so before sunrise, my mom and my dad go to Lowe's, buy a bunch of wood, and that morning we're building that deck that you see that everything is sitting on. And then it was time to go get the bees. So we show up. Anyway, get them in the car, drive them all the way back to the house. And then it was a matter of getting some sugar water, because we forgot to prepare that. So my lovely wife, she prepared that while me and my mom were getting suited up. Got our jar. This is to operate this kind of vehicle. Can you drive a truck?
No, a new deal which has first-time issues. And
It still has a time. That's fine.
oh my goodness, it is.
And then it came to opening up the box. We're extracting the queen in her queen cage, which was really cool. Now getting this thing out is going to be the tricky part.
They're cute.
Jeez.
Right there.
Oh, I see. So there you go. I know. So I need you to take this lid off. We're going to do this for Brian. We'll put her in the green one. Okay.
Like, is it right here or right
Just
here?
lift. Just lift. It's screwed down. You're not going to, it's not going to go anywhere. Well, take out one of the frames.
That way they have room to get around.
Put her in here. Then put the frame back.
Did it say to? Or would it
There's
be easier to put
nothing.
it in there
There's
first?
nothing on the frame, so they have plenty of room to get to her. There. So now we're going to take all of these lids off,
Okay.
and we're going to shake bees into each one of these towers.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yes. Here we go. Ready?
Oh, it's so beautiful. Wow. Oh, they are so beautiful.
All right,
I'm
Mom.
gonna take the element off.
Take the yellow one off.
I have sugar water on my hand, I know. It's okay. Oh, they're like, yeah, that's
All right, Mom. We need to start putting lids on these.
what if I did? Come on. I don't want to squish you.
And then we started with the green tower. Like, sure, it's halfway between the entrance and the food, so like maybe the bees will start working on that. And then the process is to just once you dump most of the bees in the hive and you have the queen hanging in her cage, they'll start fanning at the entrance to the remainder of the bees to migrate in. There was a couple problems though. It was really windy that day. In the state of Oklahoma, it is extremely windy this time of year. It's usually windy all year long because it's flatlands, and we have the wind from the northwest coming from the Rocky Mountains, the cold wind, and then we have the warm Gulf wind from the Gulf of Mexico, and they meet in the middle here in Oklahoma. It's also why we have a lot of tornadoes in the springtime. So the bees were having a hard time finding the queen when we first put her in the hive. And so after observing this, we decided to take her out of the green tower and shift her to the blue tower where the entrance was. which is why when you saw us open up the hive a week later, she was in the blue box instead of the green box. And that's how it started. It was just, boom, we're there. We have bees flying around my parents' yard. Cool. So fast forward, it's now opening day. We get to open the hive. It's kind of another windy day. It was kind of cloudy that day. It was kind of sucked because the lighting was kind of bad. But to sit there and after a full week of constantly feeding these bees, to open up the hive and actually see what they've been doing, because this is the downside about beekeeping that a lot of people don't tell you about, is there's a lot of waiting involved. Like, I keep saying hurry up and wait is how it works. You're sitting there twiddling your thumbs, going about your business. You know, we'll drive over to my parents' house and just I'll watch the bees, and they're going in and out, bringing in pollen, destroying the sugar water. They're going ham on it. So I know they're drawing comb out, but you don't like it. Like, there's no cameras, there's no screen. Like, you're kind of just hoping and praying everything's going well. So to open the hive up and to see that not only did they like propolis and build comb around the frame top so it wasn't wobbly, but to pick that first comb up and pull it out and just look at it. So you see they already got some pollen. Big day. You ready?
Yes, let's do this.
Let's tell these girls we're coming in. Come on, if you'll hold this. There we go. Big reveal.
Oh, how beautiful.
Oh, yeah, they're all up in here. Look at that.
Oh, wow. Nathan? Look at
Look
what they've been building.
at all that comb.
Oh,
Yeah,
my.
go ahead and squirt them down, Mom. Point it down on them. There you go. That's enough.
Look.
So, which one?
Alex, come over here.
This
and
one
look.
has the queen cage on
Oh, my gosh. It's beautiful.
it. Look at all that propolis on the end.
All 5. 6.
All 5?
1, 2, 3, all 6. Oh,
How
my
beautiful
gosh, it's
is
beautiful. Alex,
this?
come over here.
That's so much gold.
Oh,
That
my
is
gosh,
so
we
much
gotta get
gold.
the queen.
The queen is
crusher
literally-
in there.
I didn't think they produced this fast.
Oh my goodness, Nathan.
What, you okay?
How are you?
So,
Come over here on this side. You need to record it. I don't know if you can get it off now, Nate.
we're gonna have to.
Oh,
I hate to.
you need a spray? You need a smoke? You need a spray?
So, look at all that pollen in there.
Oh my goodness. So
So,
where's the queen?
I don't know.
Oh, the pins are in the house.
We won't need the pins. So,
Yeah, we need a marker, right?
we need. Here, I'm gonna set this down.
You need to hold it?
Yeah, hold it for me, will you? 5 sheets.
All 5. My guess was 3 to 4.
Mine was 3.
Oh my
Looking
gosh.
for eggs.
I don't see anything in that one.
I just can't. I can't tell.
I can't see. I don't. Oh my gosh! Look at the pollen on these. But I don't see the queen.
I'm gonna have to literally cut it out.
Oh. I'm like, what are you doing? Okay, I think you got it, didn't you? Maybe. I was afraid this might happen.
There's the queen cage. I think I might just leave the leave the metal hook in there.
It'd probably be easier to get that out than it would be the queen cage, so we're gonna need that hook. There you go. Now straighten the end out and pull it. There you go.
All right, they'll have to recover that hole,
They will.
but you
I
can.
didn't see any, but the queen is not in that one.
So we'll put this one back. Just to see, not only just tons of bees all over it, But to see it completely drawn out, almost the entire frame was filled. They had just almost reached the bottom, so it was still kind of flimsy, so I had to like kind of hold it. But to see that there was nectar, sugar water, pollen, all in these frames was incredible. Now, the thing that we did not expect was the fact that not only did they draw out 5, technically they were on the 6th one. The 6th one broke off, so I removed that as like a little souvenir, so they'll redraw out that frame, no problem. But they had built the comb so fast that they had built over the queen cage completely. Like, she was released, she wasn't in there. We actually didn't see her at all in the hex hives, but we saw eggs. So, I mean, you don't really have to see her, you just have to see evidence of her. So, one of my goals this next time, opening up here in a couple days, is to see if I can actually find her. We literally built over the queen cage, which really goes to show that bees will pretty much put their homes anywhere. And they are incredible at optimizing their space. But to sit there with my hive tool and like carve out the queen cage and just leave a gaping hole in their comb was kind of heartbreaking, because you're like, oh man, they did all this work and I'm destroying their work. But the thing is now they can utilize that space and fill the comb out all the way, or they can just leave it open. I mean, they weren't using it anyway. So that's all well and dandy. They haven't spread to the other towers yet, but when we opened them, and as you can saw, as I was pulling the frames out, there was bees all along the frames. So it looked like they realized that they were starting to get the idea, oh hey, it's not just this one space, we have all of this space. And usually when you set hives up, you give them enough space to start with, but you don't want to kind of overwhelm them. You want them to kind of be organized. But again, this is experimental. It's a whole new hive system, 3D printed, multiple towers, all connected at the bases. And they seem to be doing exactly what we hoped they'd do, which is to start with one tower and then realize when they run out of space, hey, we need more space. Oh, we don't need to swarm. We can turn around and be like, hey, there's multiple rooms in here. So again, hoping to see multiple towers with comb in it this time. As for the Langstroth hive, again, these were a week apart because of when we got our phone call for when our bees were done. Bees are done. I'm talking like it's some kind of machine or some kind of like baking the bread. Hey, ding, your bee's done. Anyway, so we get the phone call saying, hey, the nucleus is done. So we need to come get our bees that already have frames and comb drawn out, which compared to the hex hives was a cakewalk. Literally all I had to do was just open the hive up, transfer the frames, make sure the queen was on one of those frames, dump the remaining bees in there, put the feeder on it, close it up, done. It was like the easiest thing in the world compared to having to deal with the other hives or the other hive. It's still really cool to sit there and open up a established colony. Like, it's not a new colony, it's established. Like, the queen's been laying eggs, there's capped brood, both workers and drones all over the comb. That when you pick them up and you just feel the weight of those combs, like that was the thing I was looking forward to. It's just like you keep hearing about the weight of the frames as you pick them up, full of honey, full of pollen, full of nectar, full of all that stuff. And it was quite heavy. Like, you picked it up and you're like, man, this has got some weight to it. Like, and then having to like look at it one way and then flip it over to see it the other way, looking for a queen, which if you know what a queen looks like, but until you actually see her walking around, it's still quite hard to look for your first time. I mean, you can consider this my second time looking for a queen, but like, it's still my first round of bees. So flipping the comb forward and backwards slowly so I'm not throwing things, and then setting the first one in, no big deal. Picking up a second one, seeing plenty of drones, seeing tons of nectar, tons of pollen, a lot of cap brood. The comb was super dark, which means it's been there for a long time. So I was in no way worried about these bees at all. And I got to frame 4, before I found the queen. And by then, I'm like, uh-oh, this is not good. Because, again, to successfully transfer from a nucleus to a hive, like a full-size, box hive, I need to make sure the queen is in there. I can't just throw the hives in there and call it good. I need to make sure the queen gets in there. So when the bees are like, hey, to the other bees, hey, this is home, come this way. Especially in Oklahoma wind, where pheromones just kind of just disappear as soon as they're made. We needed to make sure she was in there. So I'm on, frame 4. I'm looking on the front side. Can't see her. I flip it to the back side. And I'm literally about to, put the hive down. Turn and put the hive down. And I see her literally just by my left hand, walking all over the other bees. And of course, you've seen that video already. There she is. I see her. Right there. You see her?
How do
You see her?
know?
She's right there.
By your left finger?
No, right there. She's on top of all the bees walking around.
I see her. See how big she is? Look at her right there.
There's the queen.
Nice.
See how big she is? Yeah, look at her.
There she
She's
is.
not marked though, so we'll have to keep that in mind.
I've got markers if you want to.
Man,
look.
her
we won't
backside
mark
is
her
giant.
She is giant. She's a lot larger than I thought.
Yeah, she's alive and kicking.
Oh,
All right, we'll put her in there
good.
then.
So we now know the queen is officially in the hive. Seeing her was really cool. She wasn't marked. Kind of annoying, but she was. Usually when, at least from what I've researched, people that sell bees, they usually mark the queens for you so you know what year it is. But, again, we'll just mark them ourselves when it comes to opening next time. There you go. We now had 2 colonies of bees. It was that simple. Not really. It was not simple at all. It was incredibly... There's a lot of work that goes into it. A lot of early game work. That was the most interesting part. We went from doing a lot of video watching to find out, just to make sure we know what we're looking for when it comes to walking into this. Because again, you think it's just get bees, put in box, wait a little bit, get honey, profit, right? It's not that simple. We're still not even fully prepped, if you want me to be completely honest with you. We still need to get a honey extractor. We still need to I probably may need to print a whole nother tower. There's 5 towers that are each 3 stories tall. So, but that may not be enough room. If the bees keep growing quickly, I may have to print a 6th tower. Or get enough filament to make it 4 stories tall. I don't know. I really don't know. There's one thing I will say to take away and kind of wrap this up. That the idea that where my parents currently live, in little old Tuttle, Oklahoma, of all places, is like prime real estate for bees. Because both colonies have been exploding since they've been established. And I'm incredibly excited to go on this journey. I can't wait to see what opening day in 2 days is going to look like. I hope you guys are ready to see, because I am. This has been so fun. I posted a video or a photo on Instagram. My wife caught me because what we'll do is we'll go over to my parents' house and I'll sit there and just look at the bees and just watch them. There's something so soothing about hearing them just buzzing around and working, minding their own business, and they're incredibly docile. That's the thing that really kind of shocked me. It's just how respectful they are towards me and towards anyone around. But anyway, that was an update from me. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. I know you guys apparently really like seeing the queen, so I'm going to try to get more footage of the queen coming up here. But thanks for tagging along with this journey of mine. I'm just going to keep on trucking, and hopefully we'll get some honey come June.